What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David. A lot of you guys have been asking for a spiritual reason or an energy update on everything that is happening on the planet right now with the collective consciousness. And I think that right now is the most important time to take advantage of this energy shift. So let's talk about that right now. If you are new to the channel and this type of content resonates with you, please smash that notification bell so you don't miss the twice weekly spiritual tutorials that I post. Also, if you want to see more videos on the Great Awakening, a spiritual awakening, moving from 3D to 5D, please click the subscribe button. Also have a look around in the description box below. We do have that free 30-minute guided meditation on abundance. You can also sign up for one-on-one coaching with yours personally. Let's get into the video. If you are familiar with my content, then you have definitely heard the phrase, the Great Awakening. I think the Great Awakening playlist is already up to 16 or so videos at this point. But to truly understand the Great Awakening, or how the Great Awakening can benefit you, how you can make order out of chaos, how you can empower yourself when the powers that be want to take your power and your sovereignty away from you, then you have to understand that the Great Awakening is you. You are the Great Awakening. The uncertainty that the collective consciousness is going through right now is here for you and you only. The chaos that is happening is here on purpose for you, to push you outside of your comfort zone, or more accurately, outside of your old identity that wasn't serving your highest good, so that your new identity, your greatest version, which is in alignment with the universe at large, can be birthed as a means of survival outside of your comfort zone. Let me condense that a little bit. Your greatest version is being forced to be birthed outside of your comfort zone as a means of survival. Now, your true self, your new identity, that is going to be birthed from being uncomfortable. But you're only going to be uncomfortable until your core vibration finds balance and resonance with the new higher level of physicality. In other words, your new higher comfort zone. This is why the dark night of the soul has to happen to the collective consciousness on a global level, so that the collective consciousness can give birth to the new identity, the true identity, the identity that all of us decided to become before we decided to incarnate. And that new identity can only be birthed through the destruction of the old identity, or the destruction of the old comfort zone. This is why the dark night of the soul is what's known as ego death. So you are the collective consciousness. The Great Awakening happens with you and only you. You can't have a spiritual awakening for someone else. You can't go through the dark night of the soul for someone else. Many of you are dealing with the fear of uncertainty. Fear of uncertainty comes from having your mind off into the future, which causes anxiety. So what you want to do is think of your ideal, stronger version, your greater version, and ask yourself, what would my greatest version do in this situation? Some examples may come to mind where your greatest version may decide to shape the reality that you experience by self-identifying as the physical embodiment of that which you wish to experience. For example, if you want to experience love, you would self-identify as the physical embodiment of love itself. If you wanted to experience peace, you would self-identify as the walking physical embodiment of peace itself. Maybe your greatest version would list 5 action steps, even if they're baby steps, to get the momentum rolling in the direction of the change that you wish to experience. Or maybe your greatest version would center the regretful or anxious mind in the present moment by listing 10 things for which to be grateful. Gratitude has an amazing way of getting the mind out of the future of uncertainty and centered into the present moment by focusing on what is good now. All of your power is in the now moment. Maybe your greatest version would not tie its worthiness, its happiness, its peace, its identity to expectations or a specific outcome. Maybe your greatest version would decide that it is the sovereign ruler and authority over the reality that it experiences. The way that you step into your new identity, your true identity, your greatest version, is you simply start living it unapologetically and fearlessly. If you have the ability to know what your greatest version would do, then that level of consciousness already exists within you now. The physical will follow suit once the consciousness has clear direction. So stop yourself in the middle of old programming. You know what you shouldn't do. You know how you shouldn't react. You know when you're following that old programming of that old identity that you're trying to leave. So start to write a new program. What would my future self do? Start writing that new program of what your greatest version would do. You know, everybody probably has that one friend or someone that they look at as an advisor where they may say to themselves, what would so-and-so do in this situation? Well, honestly, if we really think about it, you know what so-and-so would suggest. You know what so-and-so is going to tell you. So you already know the higher path to take. We usually just need to get our old identity and our old ego, which is usually just habitual and familiar, out of the picture. Remember, never confuse habitual and familiar with what is right. Now, be forewarned, Light Fam, your old identity will fight tooth and nail to keep itself alive, to keep itself relevant in your life. You will have people and situations show up from your path, clinging to you, trying to get you to fall back into that old behavioral patterns of that old identity, mainly because that's what's comfortable for their perception of you, and people don't like to have their perceptions challenged. And that is never going to be stronger or more intense than right before you make that complete transition into your new identity or your authentic true self. But you got to press forward, Light Fam, press forward by walking in the shoes of that new idealistic future self or that greatest version, because that's how you're going to integrate your greatest version into your current everyday physical reality. So in conclusion, the Great Awakening is all about the death of the old you and the birth of your new identity. Your new identity will be birthed by pushing you outside of the comfort zone of your old identity to where the birth of the new identity is necessary for survival. Remember, necessity is the mother of all invention, and it will become necessary for you to reinvent yourself. The collective consciousness is going through the dark night of the soul, or ego death, as we speak. And you are the collective consciousness. You are the Great Awakening. You're awakening to your new identity, your greatest version. Now, question of the day. Has the Great Awakening caused you to birth a new identity because you've been pushed outside of your comfort zone? Or, nah, I just want to get plugged back into the matrix. Ignorance is bliss. Forget all this spiritual awakening stuff, it's too tough. Leave those comments below, Light Fam. I would love to get an open discussion on this one. If you liked the video, then please like the video. If you want to see more videos on a spiritual awakening, the dark night of the soul, the Great Awakening, moving from 3D to 5D, we've got it all here at the Lightways channel for you. Please click the subscribe button. Also remember to add me over on Instagram _Lightways. I do answer a lot of questions over there. Remember to have a look around in the description box below. We still have that free 30-minute guided meditation on abundance. If you have Gmail, that meditation will most likely be under the promotions tab. Not sure what I did to upset Gmail, but they throw all my stuff into the promotions tab there. We also have the one-on-one Zoom sessions that you guys can sign up for if you want a one-on-one handheld type of thing where we'll dig into the spiritual awakening that you're going through, dig into those questions that you have, try to do a little bit of reprogramming for you. Love noisy motorcycles. So that is in the description box below. Now, if you know someone that is going through the dark night of the soul, they've had a spiritual awakening, they've been pushed outside of their comfort zone, and maybe they need to reinvent themselves through the necessity to survive, then please share this video with them. It may give them the insight that they need to get to the other side of that dark night of the soul, a much stronger and better version of their old self. Again, I am rambling, guys. I am out of here, and I will see all of you in the next video. You know how we do it. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching, and to all you love. Peace, guys.